From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Andrea Lutz. A woman in Billings is recovering from a surgery where she was awake. We have that story in a minute, but first. The city of Polson declared a water emergency due to a high demand for it. Here's today's leading look. The city of Polson is prohibiting water use for residential and commercial lawns and washing your vehicle. The city, though, is making bottled water available today. Senators hope to take another shot at passing infrastructure legislation today. A bipartisan group of senators want to finalize the framework, then put it for a vote. They do need support from 60 senators. Fires are keeping crews busy over the western United States. Many of those crews battling from Oregon, where the bootleg fire has already scorched more than 400,000 acres. Flames are raging out of control and forcing people to evacuate. South of Butte, the 7,300-acre Alder Creek fire is listed as the #1 fire in the region. The fire was fueled by high winds this weekend. More than 150 structures are threatened in the area. And police are on the lookout for a Park County inmate who escaped from jail. 34-year-old Jordan Lindy took the keys to a detention facility minivan, and then he was last seen on Highway 89 northwest of Livingston. If you do see him, you're asked to call Park County. That's today's leading look.
Well, we've been seeing those above average temperatures, and that's not going to stop as we take a look at the 8 to 14 temperature trend. You can see it. We'll just call it down the middle, at least a 40% chance we're going to be warmer than normal. But check this out. It's been very, very dry out there. Do we have a chance to see that change over the next 8 to 14 days? Well, August 2nd through the 8th. Well, in portions of the state down to the south and to the southwest, we're near normal, so maybe a better opportunity to see some rain ahead. But most of the state, we're looking at drier than average conditions. We'll tell you more about that monsoonal moisture coming up.
Unemployment in Missoula is trending down. The U.S. Bureau of Statistics showcases a steady decline in unemployed individuals from January to May of this year. So people are returning to work, but despite this, the hospitality industry is struggling to fill jobs. A quick search for food hiring immediately on the employment website Indeed tells us that 150 jobs were posted in the last 2 weeks. This time last year, Iron Horse Brew Pub scaled back operations due to the pandemic.
We did anything extra we could. We were making pickles and cookies and selling anything that we could on the side just to make sure that we could get through what was going on. And it was difficult, but at times it was easier than what we're dealing with now.
Like many restaurants, Iron Horse can't operate as usual. The rooftop deck and private party room remain closed. There's just not enough staff to accommodate customers at full capacity. To attract people, the business has upped its wages.
We've had to turn a lot of parties away, and to us, it's like we're turning money away. So we're hiring for dishwashers, bussers, expo, line cook, and servers.
A recent decision to close Tuesdays gives staff a day to breathe. When doors do open, it's busy.
And our Mondays have been crazy. Our Mondays are like a Saturday night.
Wage increases and return to work bonuses aren't doing the trick.
It didn't really seem to bring people in here.
Engel said interviews are missed on a weekly basis, and a new state reporting system is time-consuming and only meant for unemployment claimants.
I'm washing dishes to make sure we're operating. I don't really have time to stop and call for the 10 people that didn't show up for their interviews.
To accommodate the extra work, staff are taking on extra duties.
Some of it's really nice. Some of it, you can really tell our staff that have stepped up and want to make it work. And we'll say, it's okay, I'm not gonna make the tips today serving, I'll come back and wash dishes. And that's awesome. It can be hard when you do it over and over and over.
And an additional hurdle, unpredictable food supply chains as the industry bounces back from shutdowns.
Trucks are coming in later, things are missing on trucks. We are having issues getting chicken, shrimp, fish.
Engel said he thinks rising supply costs are sure to impact menu prices industry-wide.
people are going to have to change their prices. I mean, you can't operate the same when you are paying everybody more money and paying more money for food. Everything's going to have to go up.
At MTN News, we'll continue to track this developing economic story. In Missoula, Geneva Zoltek, MTN News.
David J. at the St. Vincent Neuroscience Center. A Billings woman is making a full recovery after surgery here, and she had that surgery while she was awake. We had a chance to talk with the doctor and the patient.
We do mostly grasshoppers.
Kylie Max is back to normal and working at her job with the USDA after recovering from surgery to help with seizures.
It's going really well, actually. From after the surgery, I had a lot of loss in my arm, so pretty much made a full recovery. I'm left-hand dominant, so I had to relearn to write.
Her seizures started at the age of 5, and she didn't have them again until she was 25.
I didn't have any symptoms or any signs until I had my first surgery. I started getting blurred vision and some symptoms like that, and went to San Francisco and got those taken care of.
That was at the University of California, San Francisco in 2019, but she was not sure she wanted to travel back, and so she met with Dr. Lewis Ross at the St. Vincent Regional Neuroscience Center.
She'd had a history of what are called cavernomas, which are blood vessel tumors within the brain that can bleed. And so my plan and conversation with them in order to get this out in the safest manner possible was to do it as an awake craniotomy. And during the surgery, as I'm taking out the lesion, we are talking to her, we're running through a bunch of drills, we're having her use her hand, do speech drills and whatnot, just to make sure that we're not having too significant of an impact. It allows me to do a resection and hopefully not cause long-term problems for her with her motor function.
It was really nice to be able to just have my support system so close and not have to travel.
At least as it pertains to neurosurgical type procedures, there are very few things that require an individual to leave Montana. Her weakness is completely resolved. We got the entire lesion out.
Day-to-day life is pretty normal, and there's only one more to take care of, and then I'm done. So that's good.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Up next, Miller is back in with a look at that statewide weather forecast. Plus, it's an honor with high regard. We take you to Missoula to announce this year's Peacemaker Award.
The MTN Noon News continues right after this.